Hi, and welcome back here on the Senior Network. We're now joined by Neil Honeycutt, Director of Community Relations right at home.
Thanks for being here.
Good to see you, partner.
Yep.
And Tamara, before Neil came on, we were talking about referral back and forth with communities and so forth. Tell us a little bit about how you guys work together.
Sure, because we work closely together too for, say, residents in assisted living level of care, say. When it gets a little bit over and beyond what the facility can do, we call in, we'll call in some extra hands like what you guys provide for maybe for helping a person with meals or their ADLs for the day. Using hospice and assist, your caregivers help support someone to be able to continue to live in a level of care like the Bayshore.
Sure. And Neil, I know with Right at Home, obviously, one of our main focuses is to keep them in their home as long as possible.
It is, Greg. So the way we approach it is we walk into the homes, provide an assessment for the family. It may be an adult child who calls us initially, realizes that mom and dad are just not doing very well in the home. And sometimes it starts out with something what we think it's minor, but it may not be, is a medication issue. They're not taking their medications properly due to memory or it could be a number of other reasons. Maybe sometimes it's non-compliance. But they realize there's something going on. And so we step in and try to at least initiate a basic level of care, going in, maybe having a nurse set up medication, doing medication administration. Tamara said also sometimes it's activities of daily living, and what that basically means is all the physical care that someone needs some assistance with. And we monitor that. We put a plan in place where they can stay in the home as long as they possibly can. And then we also start talking to them about alternatives. If they're going to need more care than what maybe they can afford to be in the home setting, we do offer some information about the assisted livings in like Bayshore and other places that are here, so that it's economical too. At some point, if they're able to do the care in the home, receive that care, it can be costly sometimes. So if they can look at maybe a monthly fee over at Bayshore or one of the other assisted livings, we obviously refer to that as well.
Well, and for folks that don't know, I mean, you're a licensed master social worker, and
That's
so
right.
that skill set really helps with. There's just a lot of dynamics of helping people transition and make those decisions like you're talking about for staying at home or moving into a facility or independent assisted like Bayshore we were talking about.
And what's great too, because a lot of the families down here, their loved ones are out of town. So it's really nice when you get called in to help them on a little bit more intimate level too, to help them understand what's going on. Because I know it's very stressful for a lot of the families out of town, because we have a lot of retirees down here.
It's very difficult. I think one of the things that we do, and you guys do it very well, is just getting that family together who may live in California, someone may live in New York, and they really don't know what's going on, what I call right in the home, on the spot. So maybe mom and dad tell them one thing, and then we go in and find something totally different. And so we try to bring them together. We try to be eyes on the ground for them, and then pretty much bring everything together and determine what are the resources that are really needed for them. Because sometimes being in the home is just not what they need to have. But most of the time, we can keep them there as long as possible.
You do a fabulous job with that. I know there's been many a times where I'll be calling Neil on the phone saying, "Hey, I got a family that needs you," and unfortunately, it's a process because they're not always ready to have all the hours they really need. But you do a wonderful job of getting them on that page. Just sometimes, like you said, just getting in the door, talking with them, and assessing and starting to provide some services takes a big relief because most people need more than what they get sometimes.
And what they think they need.
Yes, exactly.
They do. Well, I was sitting here looking at your title, Clinical Director.
Yeah.
Tell us what that is. What's your role?
So I take all the referrals mostly, and I help with patient care, making sure, just making sure that everybody's being seen, coordination of schedules. It's a melting pot for everything, really. But mostly my favorite part is working with the families. When I get the referral in, and we do a really fast turnaround time on it. And then getting other disciplines, calling other agencies, who do we need to get in here to help this family get them support that they need? Yeah.
From a hospice standpoint, tell us just a little bit about that process. So you would contact, maybe have a nurse go out at that point?
Usually if I get a referral from a physician's office, say, and I'm getting all the medical records in, I'll send the nurse out within 24 hours for sure. It could be a couple hours. And they're out meeting them, making that contact right away. And then getting in the home and opening up the case. We provide, social work, chaplain, aid services. So we try to assess and see what this patient needs and provide as much services as possible. And everything over and beyond what we can do, we call you.
Well, you both do a fabulous job, and unfortunately we're out of time.
Okay.
But I really appreciate you joining us. Thank you, Tamara.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Appreciate it. Please take a moment, if you will, email us any comments, questions you may have, and thank you all for joining us here on the Senior Network, where senior care experts come together. We'll see you the next time.